Hello, welcome to Drawing with Fire. I'm Valarie, your neighborhood pyrography artist, and today we're doing hair of our self-portrait, and I'm joined with hubby,
Okay.
who thinks he's in the Alaskan tundra. Are you that cold?
Well, I'm warming up.
The studio's 50.
Okay, but I can't feel my nose.
Alrighty, so I've already gotten some of the hair in. Hey Spence, hey Teresa. Gotten some of the hair in. This is still rough. This is like laying it in, and then I'm going to go back and detail it even more. Now I have my easel is up even further like this, angle-wise, so it's at like 85 degrees. So hopefully it looks better on camera for you guys. And the main pins, which that I've been using, is the 18M and the 18S, but the 18M has been the biggest workhorse putting things in. So we are going to start with that, and we are going to work over in this area so you can see it. Let's see here. With the, two things at once. Some of the bang, some of the side of the hair. There's not curls so much over here, so I guess maybe I should have saved a curl, but we can talk about it. There's a little bit of a curl here, and the reason that's a little different is we have to have our darks and our lights in the right spot to make it look like the hair is actually curving. So I should have actually saved one of them, but you know what? It's okay. We shall live. And what I need to do is actually probably take down that reference real quick. And I'm heating my 18M up to 4.
Why did you Why did you cut your face out of the reference? Or you just
it's because I don't want to focus on the face. I just want to focus on the hair. That's the only reason.
Okay.
Because that's what we're looking at.
I just realized that. I was like, well, that's a little weird. But you know what it looks like? It looks like it's a puzzle, and it's like, just need to move that over to the other one.
A little bit. And I do have, I printed out, see, even this, I printed out, look at my face here. Mm-hmm. I was just trying to get closer on the hair. And the face can kind of take away from it when you look at it as a whole. So I've got my color, I've got my sepia, I have my black and white taped on the board. I think we're good to go. So we're going to start here, though I'm wondering, before I forget, should I quickly talk about facial hair, even though I don't have any? And the facial hair is going to be very similar to your hair itself, because it is your hair. Sorry.
Are you asking me or chat?
Chat.
Okay.
Hey Arlene, hey Sheila, hey Amy, hey Greg. Alrighty. There, that's a little bit better. Because I can actually use the test board, I guess. This isn't sanded. And I'm thinking real quick. I do have a video. It's on not outlining. Is it my second one? From a couple of years ago. It's a speed video. Oh, it shows the difference between not using a reference and using a reference. And that one is facial hair. It's a beard on that one.
Burl.
Hey, bro. So, if I was a guy, and what's funny is Burl's the one who asked for the facial hair, but he wasn't asking for herself. He was asking for a gentleman in another group, I believe. He was asking if I was going to talk about it, but the way I posted it in the group last night made it sound like I was asking for Burl herself, which I guess subconsciously I wrote it that way because she keeps telling me she has a 5 o'clock shadow in her piece. So maybe it just stuck in my head, Burl. Alright, so if we were doing...
She says the bearded lady.
Yeah.
Teresa says, give yourself a beard for demo.
Yeah.
Just kidding, don't do it.
Don't do it. So if we got a bit of a mustache, you're not going to see a whole lot. And I'm not using a reference, but I am thinking of Jonathan's beard. So hopefully, I keep going. Hopefully that will help. So so that is a mustache. In theory, the nose would be here. And it's probably hard to see. Okay, so this would be, and then for the beard, we just put a lip, bottom lip here, So we would have our facial hair coming down. Now, if you have any grays, I would definitely put your white charcoal in first, just to mark out where those are at, so you know. They'll always erase later. How well can you see? Can't see. I can't really even see it going on the board. I'm going to zoom in.
I can see it going on.
Okay. So we got some gray in here. Now, facial hair is going to be shorter in general. The actual hair itself, meaning each strand of hair in general, is going to be shorter than what you could grow on top of your head. So those strokes are going to be a little different. So I'm at 4. So I would use it's always hard to explain it. I'm going to be touching down at an angle and just using maybe half, not even half of the tip. But if I use just the complete side, it'll be too thin for what I want. But if I use it just a little more flat, I can get it thicker. So I would do that, touch down, and start filling in the darks around, however dark it is, around the hair. And there are going to be darker and lighter areas. Remember, this is not a sanded board, so it's not going to burn smooth. I would also twist the pen so that it looks like I'm burning flat. In some areas I will be, but I'm using like the top third of the tip down and just dragging and curving as I go, depending on how the hair looks. This is all depending on what kind of facial hair you're doing. If it's more curvy, you're going to be curving your tip more and making sure that the areas that aren't getting hit by light as much are darker, and then pulling it down and curving. You can even go flat like this to draw out the stroke. But if you just go little bitty strokes, you're going to have like this, you're going to have more of a shorter beard. The longer strokes is going to give you the longer hair. And with the white charcoal, you can burn next to it. It kind of acts like a mask. And you can use the same technique with the hair on your head. And then for mustaches, and again, this is quick, just trying to show a quick demo on doing it. There we go. And then for mustache, I would find where the darkest hair is and use a lot of my tip to draw down. Kind of, you're not outlining, but you're kind of cutting in and getting some of those shadows at the same time. So I'm almost using half the tip. You can spin the tip around, or not spin it around, but just go from this side to this side, moving back and forth. And this way, you're getting multiple strokes without putting all those strokes in, which is exactly what I've been doing with my hair. And that's what we'll be doing again. And overlapping, because, you okay?
Yeah. Yeah, I just had like, you know, when sometimes you have those spontaneous like yawns.
Spontaneous one. Under the nose will be darker because the nose is closer to the viewer and overhangs over a mustache. Unless it's like a huge mustache, the nose is going to cast a shadow down, so the hair that's closer to the nose will be darker. Again, this all depends on the shape of the mustache, the type of mustache, the type of hair, because hair in different races have different textures, and that mustache or beard hair tends to follow what's on your head, but not always. You can have smooth hair on top and a very fuzzy beard. So I would just, I kind of start at the edge and then lower the pen so I'm getting more of the bottom of the tip. like that. And it kind of creates our cast shadow over some of the hair to give it some texture and depth. And I'm overlapping the strokes so it doesn't look outlined. And I would keep going in whatever shape your facial hair is. It's going to have the ups and downs, like coming out and then kind of curling over your lip and then following the lip and then coming back out. So you're going to have shadows in those areas that are going in. It may not look like it, but they're there, and that's why the black and white and sepia helps to see that. I guess I can show you Teresa. I know Teresa's here, Amy's here, and Spencer's here. Okay, all three of you are the ones who won the Jonathan print. Is it okay if I show the reference photos so I can kind of explain a little bit? Because in that one I am doing facial hair. But I told everybody I wasn't going to show. I just want to make sure. Alrighty. I think they're going to tell me yes. Hey, David. So I'm just going to, because everything's behind, and keep up. So we have mustache hair for Jonathan. We have shorter hair, softer hair up on his cheek, because as it goes up on the cheek, it tends to soften, not always. Plus it's the angle of his. This is not a good picture, and I'm having a hard time with it. I really should have gotten the original from the photographer. We have more short hair on the chin, so those are going to be smaller strokes. Some of it, when the hair is facing the person, meaning the hair is this way, it's just dots. And then in other areas, whoops, when the hair is laying against the skin, then you'll see a little bit more of the strokes. But in general, if you look, you're not seeing every individual hair on Jonathan's face or in his mustache, even though it's not a good photo. You're seeing the shapes and angles of the hair, but you're not seeing each individual hair. And that's kind of like with our eyebrows when we did those. It's more fuzzy, but you know he's got a beard. So it really does depend on... Uh-oh, is Amy buffering? Okay, we're not. Okay, Amy, if you hear me, just shut down YouTube and restart it. And it should fix it. So I think, did I get everything on facial hair? And it's going to be the guys mainly who tell us if I did okay with that, if I explained it okay. Alright, let's readjust me. Try to keep the camera out of my face, because every time it hits my face, it makes my face itch. So we're going to start here, and I've got a curl that comes a little bit out. All this is darker, and for the darker areas, I've actually been bumping up to right around 5. Luckily with basswood, it's a little less of a fight to get the darker strokes. I think I will, you know, I'm going to go ahead and go to 4.5, because speeding up my pen, I can get a lighter burn, slowing down, a darker burn. And if we're starting on the edge, kind of what I want. Alrighty. So, watching my reference, we've got darks here. And it's okay that it's that dark, because this dark, it needs more darks like this in order to balance it out better. And so this is me using a lot of the tip actually, and dragging down. Filling in this shape, and right here where you don't see a whole lot, that's what it is. It's a shape. We're not seeing individual hairs, and there will be a few places like on the side and top of my head where I will put some individual hairs because we have flyaways. So I need to do that with a thinner tip, though I could do it with this one. I just don't want to. So seeing, slowing down or speeding up and drawing down with the whole bottom of my tip. I'm getting a lighter burn even though I have not adjusted my heat. Got some darks in here. And it may look like I'm outlining, but what I'm trying to do is just get those shapes in. See here, now seeing this hair strand is lighter. So I will go over it and draw down. And all the other hair that I've already got in, it needs more work. It's just, I wanted to get some in so we could have some on the screen. There we go. And trying to use light pressure, sometimes I get a little heavy with how tight I hold the pen. It's just because I'm trying to keep the angle. And if you feel better starting off lighter, go ahead. So this is just getting it in there. And then I'll go through and separate and get some more of my grouping. Because looking at my photo, what you see the most of is groups of hair. Now they may be thin groups, but they're still groups of hair. You're not seeing every individual hair stroke or hair. Trying to actually not go too curved because this is more straight. And I will go back and adjust. Looking at my reference. So this, my bangs are shorter hairs. So those will be shorter strokes. I'm trying to keep, see this actually blends. So I need to go darker here. Get in there. Because that's really dark. But we do have, see some of the hair is going this way, but then it also comes down. So I have to watch that. I'm actually going to bump down to 4. Yes, so I'm not touching down so hot. Like this is, and if I just use the tip, it's going to be a darker burn.
Oh, Michael Ann's here.
Hey, Michael Ann.
She says hi, and that's looking awesome.
Thank you. So let's get this in. Try to follow the direction. My graphite's a little off. What I'll do, erase. So are you still cold? Because I'm actually, now it could be because I'm under the lights and I'm thinking. Yeah, that's what it is. I'm thinking, so my brain is producing extra heat.
Well, I can feel my nose now.
Let me see.
Not my.
I can feel your nose too.
I know you can feel my nose.
I can feel your nose too.
But I just realized now that I'm not focusing on my nose, that my toes are cold.
Oh, my toes are always cold.
Yeah, I know.
So I can go a little thicker. Like I said, and to go thicker and lighter, I just use more of the full tip. Up here, I'm going to try to move quickly to get some, we do see some lighter hair. So I can use the edge and move quickly, bring it down into the darker area, and try to blend them out a little bit. Darker under here. See, it's always, I recorded some of burning the hair, but I didn't record all of it because sometimes I just need to be able to work and not have the camera going. So let's drop that down. This is going to be, let's see. So this is 4 with more of a flat tip. And we also have shadow underneath some of the hair on the forehead. And this is why I went ahead and went lighter with the eyebrows, because now I can darken up as I've got more hair next to it. And I'm going to have to turn my wood Alright, I'm going to bring you guys down. There we go. How's that? Alright, so this way I can draw down in the direction of the hair.
That makes sense.
It just makes it easier. Find where it was. There we go. Go lighter in some areas because we have the highlight. So moving quicker. And it's going to look ugly for a while. As I'm putting more stuff in and building things up, it'll start looking more like hair. So.
David likes my hat. I'm not...
Well, tell him the story of your hat.
It's actually it's from my mom. It's
Cause this is when you were still gone, wasn't it?
Yeah, this is from '91. So this hat was it's a volunteer hat from the Iditarod in 1991. The Iditarod, I don't know if people know what the Iditarod is.
Maybe they do. I think too.
Yeah. But where I live, or where I lived, is used to be the first major stop in the Iditarod, and so it was a checkpoint. And my mom used to volunteer at the checkpoint. I never volunteered. I ran taxi with my snow machine, which was pretty lucrative on checkpoint day because there's a ton of people that come in there. But anyway.
Well, for that one, you weren't even in country.
No, I wasn't. So this is a official race memorabilia. It's from, there it is. Yeah, so it's a volunteer hat from '91.
Yeah. Sorry.
So I was kind of surprised that my mom sent it to me, and I asked her why, and she said, well, it doesn't get that cold in Oregon, and she knows that it's colder here, so she sent it. So I was actually really surprised to see it, but it was also really nice because
piece of your childhood.
Yep, it's a piece of my growing up, because Iditarod coming through every year was good and bad. We ended up with mushers in our yard because they're like way off track, like you're following the river. I don't know how you got here
because they were following the river,
like 2 swamps and a lake, and then through the forest, and somehow you ended up at our house. But
your mom had signs and you didn't know it.
Probably. Probably just like in the cartoon. She was probably out there turning the arrow. So instead of going up the river, it pointed towards us.
Probably.
But yeah, so I did her out as a hectic time. If you live on a checkpoint, because like there's hundreds and hundreds of people that come in, and plus the mushers, and then all the race officials and the vets and everything that has to do with that. So like some people, like I didn't realize some people it was like a really big deal. Like when I went in the Army, and just a few people were like really, really big race fans, and they're like, "Oh, did you meet so and so? Did you meet so and so?" It's like, "Yeah, I met them. Yes, I know who they are. Yes, they're just people."
I don't like this line.
But yeah.
I don't like that line, so I'm actually going to up my heat because I did do that dark to start. And it's going to look rough. Even the top area looks rough because that's just me laying in, and I'll go back and finish shaping it and getting my darks in.
And my client says, "Cool story. It gets colder as you get older." That's true. That's why we're here in Flagstaff.
I want the cold.
Well, yes, but it's not as brutally cold. Our kids are up there, the girls, and my oldest son is up there. And one of the problems that they're having right now is that like my daughter's car, because you have to plug in your cars at night because there's like block heaters to keep the engine from freezing, keep all the fluids warm enough, but they don't have block heaters. So
I'm surprised they don't.
yeah, well, eventually they may end up getting them, but my oldest daughter, she has a problem with her Jeep because it's been cold enough that if she doesn't run her Jeep like every 12 hours or something like that and get it up to operating temperature, that the battery gets completely drained from the cold. So, and that's something that happens pretty routinely. But I don't miss that cold. Like when you're talking
No,
like
I don't want that kind of cold.
20 below. I can remember like waking up for school, and my cutoff for school was negative 25 below. If it was negative 25 below,
You didn't have to go?
I did not have to go to school that day because on a snow machine, like my average speed going to school was like 35 to 45.
That's
And
slow.
well,
I just
I was not rich. My top end of my machine was only 55.
I was joking, just that it wasn't slow in general.
But
Go fast.
at 35 miles an hour, the windshield is below 100. It's 100 below, a little bit more than that. So you can freeze pretty good. In fact, both my friends, they didn't have a cutoff because their parents were all about education.
Oh, so your parents did the cutoff, not the instructor.
Well,
not the teacher.
Yeah, my not that my parents weren't all about education, but my friend's parents were like, no matter what, you guys are going to school. So they both have frostbite on their cheeks.
It wasn't about education. Mom just didn't want him around the house.
Probably.
She needed a break.
But
let's face it, I'm guessing Wayne and Art were very rambunctious boys for a while.
Maybe, yeah.
Do you want to hear? I love this story, and I can't remember if you've told it. I don't think you have.
Huh?
About you, Wayne, and Art, and the backpack.
Oh.
And the ski pole.
Oh, that's a good story.
Tell that story.
All right.
I'm just going to keep swiping the hair, going in the direction, and down my tip, back and forth and up and down to get soft areas, to get more detailed areas, depending on what part of the hair. Okay, go.
Okay.
I just want to make sure that I told them what I was doing while you...
Gotcha. Okay, so... Story time, huh?
Story time. I like this story. I think it's hilarious.
Where I grew up, there's not a lot of people. And like our closest neighbors at the time, they were 2 miles away. Yeah. So we were living in a place called Lake Creek. We haven't moved up to Fish Lakes yet. But anyway, my best friends were like a mile, like 2 miles away. And so at that time, I don't think any of us had good snow machines because we weren't in high school just yet. We were like in junior high, I guess.
Can you hear him? His voice gets lighter.
I think they can hear me.
Okay, I'm just making sure.
Let me know if you can't hear me.
My big here.
Anyway.
Oh, yeah.
So, we used to cross-country ski a lot because, like, when you're out there and you have that much snow, there's, like, skiing and there's snowshoeing, but nobody wants to snowshoe because that's like strapping garbage can lids to your feet and then trying to walk. And it's good exercise if you're into that, but cross-country skiing is much easier. And on established trails, cross-country skiing is like pretty fast. So I was going to spend the weekend with my friends, and they had skied up to our place so that we could all ski down together. And so I got my skis and my backpack full of stuff, and so we were skiing, and we were probably like, I don't know, we were probably less than half a mile from their house. And I was a pretty good skier, and my friend Wayne, he was having a little trouble with his skis that day, and he was like, wait up, he was like falling behind a little bit, and he was like, just wait up, and he tripped a little bit, and he threw his ski pole, and so he was behind me, like, I don't know, like maybe like 30 feet behind me or something like that, him and his brother. And I'm skiing along, and I hear him like, wait up, and I hear this like in the air. I'm like, what the heck? And all of a sudden there's just like this solid thump in my back, right? Like something hit me square in the back. I'm like, ugh. And I looked because the sun was kind of low, and I looked at our shadows in the snow, and I was looking, my shadow had this thing sticking out of it. And I was like, oh my God, he threw a ski pole at me. It hit me in the backpack, and it stuck. And so I decided that I needed to ham it up a little bit. So I took a couple steps, and I'm like, and I fall down, right? And his little brother is like, Wayne, you killed Jason! And I hear like, oh my God, are you okay? And I wasn't moving because I was like laughing in the snow, right? But it was kind of a dirty move. Mm-mm. But anyway, so they got up to me and like, and then I, turned over and I'm like, I got you. And he's like, you son of a bitch, and, but what had happened is, my mom a lot of times would like stick stuff in my backpack if I was going to like, friends or whatever, and like, oh, you can make this there. I think it was kind of like you said. It's like they're happy to get rid of me, and so they're like kind of like providing stuff so that like, hey,
the other parent was fine, you were there.
So it was a can of orange juice, and the ski pole arced through the air, and he threw it pretty hard, and it punctured the metal part of the orange juice and just stuck. And so it was like perfect.
And it was frozen.
Yeah. So, like perfect shot. But it was a really, really good moment from my childhood, and probably. And this happened after this, because my friend Wayne, he'd accidentally shot me before in the shoulder, and so
explain to them why you would have guns as kids.
Well, we would have guns because of bears and things like that, moose, and it was just like commonplace for us. And we had one 22 pistol that was unloaded, and that we used to play with because we were kids. And anyway, in retrospect, that's dumb. That's really dumb. But we watched Star Trek and all the TV shows in the 80s and stuff, and we used to like. And this was like a cheap little pistol, and we'd always make sure it was unloaded, and then we'd because it used to be like a wooden block that we'd throw across the room, and then we'd fight for it, on TV, and so then we'd fight for this pistol, like it was on TV, and we were just sitting around one day, and it was in the summertime, and
if you're a kid, don't do this.
Don't do this at home, kids, ever. And it was fishing season, so they had hired on a couple guides and stuff, because most people out there, like, they have businesses in the summertime, and my friend's family, they had a fishing lodge, and so they had hired on a couple guides and things like that. And so anyway, but we were all sitting up there, and we were kind of like bored and stuff, and my friend, he looks at me and he picks up the pistol and he goes, Jason, I hate you. He shoots me. And this was before the ski pole incident, all right? So anyway, and his little brother was there again. He's like, you shot Jason, you son of a bitch. And it was, I was lucky because it was a graze, and what had happened is one of the fishing guides, this was his room, but one of the fishing guides had been screwing around with the weapons, and he fucking loaded it. Sorry, language. And we didn't know that because this pistol...
That was your one for the year.
This pistol was never loaded, but just to show you, treat every weapon as if it's loaded, yes. Kids. Anyway,
don't touch weapons.
So it grazed me. I bled a little bit, and my friend was like mortified that he shot me, and that was like a lesson that I'm sure that none of us will ever forget. And he used to hold it over his head. You know, anytime we'd have an argument or something like that, I'd be like, "Yeah, but that one time you shot me in the shoulder." But so when the ski pole incident came around, his little brother was like, "He's at it again." You know, he's trying to kill him. So, anyway.
Right, I'm right now currently on 4. Okay. I just happened to see that.
Yeah, end of story.
I don't want to be reminded of how old you guys were with the gun. No, don't remind me.
I was like 14, I think.
You're old enough to know better.
Old enough to know better. 13. Well, I might have been 13.
Still old enough to know better.
Yeah. Well,
your
definitely.
dad would have kicked your butt
and I
if
was
he knew.
well versed in weapon safety. Well versed in it. But
your dad would have kicked
for
your
whatever
butt.
reason, that pistol it didn't occur to us
because you're kids. That's why you
we
gotta
had
be
always
careful.
used it. We never used it for, you know, it was always a prop. So, yeah.
Guns aren't props.
Yeah. So that's stuff you don't do.
No, you don't. Now this will be a darker shadow. I'm just trying to get thickness. I need to quit focusing on just the one area, so that I want to try to get this so that you can see it closer to done.
Burl says it's amazing we all survived our childhood. Oh my God.
That is a true statement.
You know, the resilience of the human body.
No, the resilience of stupid kids. Because let's face it, you guys were being stupid kids when that happened.
I mean, I've been falling out of trees.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know.
No helmet, riding bikes. Trying to think.
Accidentally shot myself in the face with a potato cannon.
See, we didn't have potato cannons.
Well, there was no potato in it. I was checking the sealant in it, make sure that it was good before I fired it the first time. And anyway, I didn't realize there was a bunch of residual gas. And that's another one. Don't look down the barrel of a potato cannon, kids, when you're checking to see if there's sparks.
You know, I never.
My eyebrows and the top of my hair. And it freaked my parents out because I was showing my dad how to make a potato cannon because he'd never heard of it, right? And so I'm like, oh yeah, that looks good. And I'm checking the ignition chamber, and I was like, okay, let me check. And it was like, and I heard this, and that was the ignition of the glue, the pipe cement, because it off-gassed. And anyway, and all that stuff ignited, and it was just like right in my face. And I coughed, and I remember like smoke coming out because I breathed in when I did that. Anyway, and yeah, my eyebrows were burnt for a couple weeks.
See. Yes. No, yes, car racing. See, that would have been more my side versus Jason's.
Yeah, you did cool
at
stuff.
15, he was still out in the woods, whereas I was in the city. So
all my shenanigans had to do with 15, like, outdoorsy stuff.
14 and 15 is when my stupidity started. Bad. And I was stupid before that, but it got worse.
Oh my God, Michael, and we used to jump off houses too into the snow. Get stuck.
Well, see, I everybody else would jump off the house, not me. That's perfectly fine where I was.
I guess Beryl used to jump off the school roof.
Yep. Now, do remember that this is all recorded, so if you don't wish your grandchildren one day to find your words.
Oh, that's fine. I'll probably, whenever I get around to doing the story channel that I was going to do for them.
Yeah.
I'm sure that those will be stories. Stuff that your grandpa did.
Yeah.
Don't do what Grandpa did.
Or at least don't get caught doing it. Trying to drag down some of the darker hair in my bangs, but I don't want them individual.
Cap gun smoking, Greg?
Now, we played with cap guns. We had cap guns.
Okay.
But we did not have... I never even heard of a potato gun until what movie were we watching? Like, within the last year.
Oh, I don't remember.
What was it?
It was something with rednecks.
It was... No, it wasn't the Canadian rednecks, was it? No, it wasn't them. They didn't. Did they do it?
They did.
Then that is when...
Trailer Park Boys?
Trailer Park Boys.
Yep.
That's the first time I'd ever heard of a potato gun.
Yep.
But with my dad being a former cop, explosives like that didn't come anywhere near the house.
Amy says giving lit cigarettes to donkeys to smoke. Beryl says we had pumpkin cannons.
See, we didn't...
Everything's bigger in... Where does she live? Saskatchewan?
No, she's up in British Columbia.
Oh, everything's bigger in BC.
We just didn't do explosives. We did other things that we should not have done. Just explosives wasn't one of them.
Oh, Greg. Okay, so cap guns and sucking on the tip of the cap gun.
Oh.
Says he thinks it's poison.
We never did that.
I talked my buddy into trying to smoke this birch bark joint that I made out of toilet paper and birch bark.
Why would you do that?
Well, it was a joke. I didn't think he was going to do it. I was like, look, I made this. Smoke it. And he was like, okay. And I was like, no.
Was that Wayne or...
Yes, he was coughing terribly, too.
You did think he's in the Air Force.
Well, he's never done... Actually, as far as I know, he's never actually done drugs. I'm pretty sure the birch bark and toilet paper don't count.
Actually, isn't he retired? He should be retired.
Probably.
Because it was... You did Army. Wayne did...
Air Force.
Art did the Marines.
Mm-hmm. We didn't have anybody else, so we.
I thought there was one more guy.
Nope.
There was a class of. You were a class of 4.
He didn't join the military.
Oh, I thought he did.
Nope.
Oh, okay. I thought you guys all went in the military.
Nope, just us 3. Well, out of our class of 4, the other 2, John and Ted, neither of them went in the military.
Oh, see, I thought. I misunderstood.
Greg says we used to follow mosquito control duster, so we became immune to a lot of stuff.
You weren't immune. You're probably paying for it now.
So Greg and cockroaches will survive the apocalypse.
David's Navy.
Oh, okay.
Wait a minute, though. Wayne didn't go in at the same time you did.
No, because...
He's younger than you.
Yeah, he's
But he still should be.
Yeah. I mean, he went into the academy.
Retired.
As soon as he turned 18, so...
You went off to fly helicopters.
I did.
You need to find Wayne. Or talk to Wayne.
I know. And they actually, was the weirdest thing. Okay... so a high school class of 4. So our community was small because in a stretch of river, because everybody lived on the river, in a stretch of river in 50 miles, there was about 20 kids. So you figure maybe about 25, 30 families in that stretch.
Yeah.
So it's not a large community. All we had was a runway, and a post office, and a roadhouse, which the roadhouse is still there.
It's also the post office. And
yeah. Now
the runway was expanded, wasn't it? Extended?
I think it was. And the runway was originally a runway that was made during World War II, and they kept it on as an FAA weather station, which is still there.
I was about to say, if you're interested to see, look up who. I don't know who the channel is. You watched it, but look up Squitna on YouTube, and you can see where Jason grew up.
Yeah, and it's still pretty much like that. The Roadhouse is pretty fancy now, though, honestly. But
Squitna is spelled
SKW.
Hold on. I'm gonna write it. SKWA
E.
N TA.
No.
No? Squint. No.
NA, yeah.
NA?
Yeah, Squintna.
Eh.
TNA. There you go.
No, you can't read it. Ah. There.
I think Squintna, I think in Athabascan, it probably means land of mosquitoes.
Land of mosquitoes.
I'm just guessing. So anyway, so Wayne is, I think, a year or two younger than me, and his brother is a couple years younger than his brother. So he went in the Marines, and then
He's been out for a while.
he's been out, yeah. But so when I was deployed in 2003,
Oh, that's right.
I'm going into the I'm coming out because we used to go back and forth from Iraq to Kuwait, and when we come down to Kuwait, sometimes we get to go to the PX, and so we were.
And when was the last time you saw him? Just to preface that. What year?
Oh my God!
That long?
I hadn't seen him since 93,
Okay.
maybe. So 10 years. So we'd come down on mission, and we were dropping off stuff at Camp Arifjan in Kuwait, and so I went into the PX to get some stuff, and I was coming out of the PX, and I hear somebody say, Jason. And I'm like, who the hell
He's talking to me
knows
like
my
that.
name? Because nobody in my unit, because they all knew me as Sergeant. So, and nobody's going to call me by my first name. So I'm looking around, and at the entrance is Arthur in a Marine uniform.
Oh, that's right.
And I was like,
Confusing.
what are the odds that two guys from Squintna would end up at the same spot in the same time? Like that's
Across the world. Because
across
you were
the
in
world.
Iraq.
Yeah, in different branches of the military.
Yeah.
So, and he was there doing the same thing I was. He was just going to the PX, So,
Just trying to survive. Oops. So this is softer hair. It's hair, but it's more shadow looking. So I'm trying to use the whole tip and draw down. Remember, right now the hair is in the ugly phase. So I'm trying not to stress. That's what we forgot to do. So we're gonna stop right here because I need it.
yeah.
Everyone close your eyes. Close your eyes with me. And if you're watching on replay, still close your eyes. Everybody do it. Take a deep breath and let it out. Let it out.
I was
and
relaxed.
Say, I don't give a crap.
I don't give a
I don't give a crap. This is practice. I don't care. 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 And I have to keep telling myself that.
Okay.
You didn't do your drawing.
What?
Burl knows what you were supposed to do.
I had a hard week. What?
You had a hard week.
Yes, you had a hard week too. And because you had a hard week, I had a hard week. Because, what the saying goes, if the wife ain't happy, ain't nobody happy.
I was very quiet and kept to myself. So me. We'll discuss that
You were
later.
very, very
I was in a
not
bad
happy.
place.
And I was trying to help, and I didn't know how. But drawing was not in the cards during that. Oh.
So I'm trying to get the curve of my hair and making sure you can feel it curve, but then it kind of curves. So I'm trying to follow.
David says Val doesn't work like that. What is he talking about?
I don't know.
I feel like it's in reference to something we just said, but we just said
It's
like
probably
5
the I
things.
don't give a crap part.
Oh.
Okay, I'm just trying to convince myself I don't care, even though that's not true.
Well.
There, I said it. Ugh, gotta be careful where it touched down. Blend it out. Blend it out.
Burrow wants to know, I want to know, does coughing have the same effect as doing crunches?
It does, as long as you're coughing in that same area over
I
and
should
over
be
again.
ripped.
I should be ripped too. So no, it doesn't. There. Alright, so this
Speaking of, I don't give a crap.
what?
I'll be right back.
Poo.
Oh, I was going to say it. You beat me to it. You knew. You knew I was going to say it. Oh, we're almost done. Should I just...
You can hold it.
Oh, I can, huh? Okay.
Sorry, guys.
Well, I'll
It
just
was at the end of the live. I
hold
did
it then.
that.
Okay.
They don't want to hear that. All right, so we're gonna end here,
Thank you.
and I will just keep. See, if you put the camera far enough away, it looks really good.
It looks the same. Tell her,
No,
chat.
it does not look the
It
same.
looks the same.
It does not look
See,
the same.
like, she looks at it, she works on it, and then she takes a picture of it, and she's like, oh, it looks much better on camera. And I'm
It
like,
does-
it looks the same.
It does not look
It's
the
just
same.
you're seeing it
does
through
not look
the
same. Does not-
lens of, I can't think of the word,
Camera?
objective.
No. Because the light hits it differently, which is why I'm holding it up. The light hits it differently, making it look better.
Do words.
Greg says, holding bad for health.
Yeah.
Do the dance, Jason. Do the dance.
The only dance I know is a robot, and that doesn't work.
That ain't what he's talking about. That's not what he's talking about. Okay, it's okay, love. It's okay.
When you have a third party who's not invested and they're able to retain their objectivity,
Constructive?
that's called a...
Constructive?
No.
No. I don't give a shit?
They're not biased.
Unbiased? Non-biased?
Yeah, maybe.
Subjective?
I feel like
objective?
there's another word. I know it. It's just my brain's not clicking. Anyway, so yes. So the camera is an unbiased observer.
Okay, but how the light hits it and... Okay, we're not going to have this argument.
It's the same.
It is not the same.
It's the same.
It absolutely is not the same because I can see the grain here. No, I can see the grain, whereas on the screen, you see less of the grain. So I can see where the grain is interrupting with the burn. I can see that.
Okay, let's take this to a whole nother, let's take it to another extreme. Okay, so you see a pyramid on a table. It's a little pyramid. Okay? And then you look at it in the camera, and it doesn't become a sphere suddenly. It's still a pyramid.
Yes, but it flattens the pyramid.
It allows you...
And depending on how the lighting is, will change the shape of it slightly. So,
Sorry, I dozed off there for a minute.
It is slightly different on camera. I can
Same.
see the grain. Here. No. Here. Now,
I can see it the same.
Now, no.
Still looks the same.
It does not look the same.
It looks awesome.
I'm showing them on camera. Look. It does not look the same because you can now see the grain interrupting.
Okay, and
areas.
if you take the picture and put it up close of your camera, it's going to look the same.
No, it does not. So
That's color. Nope.
No, that's not the one.
beaten you with science.
No, you haven't. No, you haven't. Whew, dizzy. Ha.
Michael Ann says, if you stand back from it, will the grain disappear?
Yes, just like it does on camera.
Then it looks, the
grain does disappear
just
further
like
you are.
it does on camera.
Meaning you don't see the grain on camera.
So it's...
No, that's not what I was saying.
Greg is yelling at you. It looks great.
Arlene loved your stories.
Thanks. I'm going to record them for my kids because...
Yeah, all the kids.
I was thinking about this. It's like, I'm not going to do an art channel. I might do art on it.
Okay.
But the main thing is like...
You can be creating art and telling your stories.
Growing up, there's stories like from the Native American side of my family, and like all that stuff's going to get lost.
It is.
Because it's not recorded anywhere. And like I could write it down, but I think that it would be more engaging for my kids and my grandkids if all those stories were told to them, like the time like my dad and my uncle saved a moose out of the river, keeping it from drowning.
Yeah,
like a whole bunch of stuff, you know, and so they'll have those stories, And
you create art while you're telling your stories.
Yeah, I might do that.
That way they can see how your art was created too.
Sure, but yeah, so I just have to get around to actually doing it. My studio is set up for it. I just have to do it.
Yep, you just got to do it.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Fine. I guess I'm going to help you.
Okay.
Well, fine. Okay.
Michael Ann says, love your art too, Jason. Yes, I love my art that I've made today. Thank you. Arlene says, give it up, Jason. I use photos to see my progress. Oh, you're going to take her aside, huh? Okay. All right, Arlene. If that's your actual name.
It is Arlene. Yeah, she's doing a wonderful job on her portrait, too.
I'm just bitter because you took Val's side.
Okay, well, real quick.
Who am I? I'm just hubcap.
You're just hubcap. We need to figure out what we're doing next week.
Just hubcap.
But you're my just hubcap.
Shitty poo.
They don't know what just happened.
Wong. Stop that. Stop.
If you grab his nose, he honks.
It's from my kids. Honk. God damn it. Sorry. Pardon.
You got two today.
So, my girls used to grab my nose, and every time that I did it, I would honk. And they did it so often when they were toddlers that now it's very difficult not to do that. It's very difficult not to do it. Yeah, I have a problem.
You have a fun problem, at least.
Whatever.
All right, for next week, I think what I'm going to do for the channel for a while, because I need to get some stuff done for myself, is I think we're going to pick a photo, and we're all going to burn that photo. So that's what the lives will be, so that we can all burn together. And then the stuff that I'm working off camera, I'll still record it and upload a video, but this way I know if you guys all pick the photo, it's stuff that you want to work on, that it's stuff you...
Sounds like a cult. We all burn together.
Yes, it's a cult.
How about the wood fairy? Or is she done?
How about the wood fairy?
I think the wood fairy is
we
what
have
Val hopes visits her at night.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, like, oh my goodness.
Sands all my wood.
Look at all this wood in my studio.
Yeah, sands all my wood, cleans it off.
The wood fairy.
I haven't done it. Oh.
The hummingbird queen?
No, he's talking about the big one over there that I am sanding off the board.
Oh.
I never do that.
I forgot about that.
But this one I am taking off the board. I don't like the composition. I don't like how it's coming out. It's not the feeling I want. So I've been thinking about it for about a couple months now as to what I was going to do with that. And so I'm going to sand that off. I could put something better on there. I'm not happy with it. We used it to do, dark background, but I think an animal on that piece or a different kind of portrait would go much better on that piece. So I'm just going to sand it down. I'm going to probably have to start, based on how I use the torch on it, I'm going to have to start at about 180, if not 120, and sand the heck out of it, because I did take the torch to it, so there's areas of the wood that the burn went in deeper. The burn itself on top with the wood burner, is fine. I wouldn't, but there's areas of the dark background. So he is coming off. Something else is going to go on that one. And I feel okay with that. I don't normally do it, but in this case, I'm just not happy with it. There's nothing I can do to save it in my head. So I'd rather put a nice animal or a different kind of scene on it and have a better composition that I like for it. So that's where that one is. I know, you need to go. I'm trying to... So what I'll do in the group is we'll go through... I'll make a post in the group and we can discuss what everybody wants to start off with. And Burl, I've decided that this first one's going to be on your maple. So I need to use that maple. It's already sanded and ready to go. So whatever picture we pick, we'll do on that. I was thinking kind of flowers, but we'll see what everybody else wants to do. And I will find some copyright-free photos. And we will all... what I'll do is try to find like 5 completely different kinds of photos. Whatever gets the top vote, that's what we do first. And then down, down, down. That way everybody gets to do one that they really like. I think that'll work better. So let me know what you guys think. And don't forget, if you're new, hit subscribe. And everybody hit the like and leave me a comment.
Burl says, yeah.
Yeah, I've decided that's probably what's going to be best for the channel for right now. Down in the description is the playlist for the beginning and where we're going here. Once I get this done, I'll probably do a speed video so you can just see the different progressions from nothing on the board to finished. But it's just going to be a speed video, and I may not even do a voiceover on that one. It's just so you can see how it grew quickly. Don't forget that you are really something. You are awesome. You can do this. You're a pyro artist. What else? What else? Do I have everything? Do I get everything? Competition is February 22nd, so I really need to...
Girl, you better work.
Yeah, I need to work. This one, I think... And I haven't decided if it's going to have a dark background yet, depending on how dark I do my hair. A dark background might actually work better.
Maybe.
If I could sit and make myself work, I could have this done by next week.
Yeah. I
could have it done by the end.
All right. Well, we both have to work, so...
We both have to work.
I've got planets to finish.
You got planets to finish, yes. And Michael Ann's telling you to go potty. Okay, guys. Happy burning. Bye. Don't forget to watch more videos. Watch more videos.
Watch more videos.